Ladies and gentlemen, there comes a time when the world may not see you, when people pass you by, underestimate your presence, and question your worth. I came to remind you today, you are not forgotten. Heaven knows your name. God whispered a word concerning you, and he said, she's too anointed to be overlooked. You may have been through seasons where your voice felt muted, your dreams buried, and your efforts unseen. What you need to understand is this: the anointing on your life is not validated by applause, attention, or acknowledgement. It is validated by divine appointment. You were chosen before you were noticed. You were called before you were celebrated. They may have overlooked your work. They cannot overlook your oil. Because when God has poured something heavenly into you, it will not stay hidden forever. The same people who dismiss you will one day have to witness what God has done through you. Sometimes God will let you be hidden so he can strengthen what he placed inside you. He hides his most powerful vessels in seasons of obscurity, not to punish them, to prepare them. You are not being ignored, you are being developed. Every delay, every denial, every closed door was part of your divine training ground. When the time comes, no platform, no title, no earthly system can hold back the one whom God has appointed. You don't need to chase visibility when you carry divine viability, because what's born of heaven will always make its way into history. Listen, the oil on your life cost you something. It came through tears, betrayal, isolation, and battles that no one even knew you were fighting. You cried in silence but kept serving. You were wounded but kept worshiping. You were tired but kept trusting. That's why the enemy tried to bury you, because he knew if you ever realized who you were, hell wouldn't stand a chance. But God is saying today, I have not forgotten her. I saw her faithfulness in the field. I heard her prayers in the midnight hour. I watched her forgive when she had every reason to fight back. And now heaven is getting ready to announce what hell tried to silence. The same stone they rolled in front of your potential, God is about to roll it away. You are stepping into a season where your anointing will speak louder than your title. Your oil will open doors that no human hand can close. Somebody needs to know. You don't need validation from people who never understood your value. Stop trying to convince them. Stop waiting for their approval. The same God who called you will confirm you. He doesn't need a committee to crown what he has already chosen. God said, she's too anointed to be overlooked, too favored to be forgotten, too appointed to be denied. When God says too, it means beyond human limitation. You're too anointed to stay in the background forever, too anointed to settle for survival when you were created to stand in authority, too anointed to remain where small minds tried to keep you. Your anointing breaks ceilings. Your presence shifts rooms. Your faith disrupts patterns. You are not the woman you were a year ago. You've been crushed. Yes, but what came out of that crushing was oil. You've been broken, but what emerged from that breaking was brilliance. You've been silent. What's rising out of that silence is sound, divine sound. When God says, enough hiding, no one can keep you covered. When heaven says, release her, every barrier must bow. You are walking into a divine unveiling, not because you've been seen, but because you've been sent. There's a weight to your anointing that only destiny can handle. You don't fit everywhere because you weren't meant to. You're not like everyone else because your assignment isn't like everyone else's. God set you apart so that when your season comes, no one can take the credit but him. So lift your head, straighten your crown, stop doubting your calling. God is not finished with you. He's revealing you. The same grace that covered you in hiding is now getting ready to present you in power. They may not have invited you to the table. Don't worry, God is preparing a whole new table in your name. And when you sit down, your presence will preach louder than your pain ever did. Don't rush the process. Keep your oil pure. Keep your faith steady. Keep your worship alive, because your time is near. There are seasons in life when it feels like you've been completely forgotten. When you pour out your best and still get passed over, when you love deeply and still get misunderstood, when you serve faithfully and still go unnoticed. It's in those moments you begin to wonder, Does anyone see me? Does God even remember where I am? But hear this truth deep. In your spirit, heaven has never lost sight of you. You are seen, known, and marked by God, even when the world acts like you're invisible. You may be hidden, but you are not forgotten. God's visibility doesn't look like human visibility. While others are counting followers, likes, or recognition, God is counting obedience, endurance, and faithfulness. He doesn't reward performance, He rewards consistency. He doesn't honor who's the loudest in the room. He honors who's the most surrendered in the secret place. You might not have the spotlight, you have God's sight, and that's more powerful than any platform. Divine visibility means that your name is written on heaven's agenda, even when your name isn't on people's lips. It means that while they're overlooking you, God is overseeing you. He's watching how you respond in obscurity. He's watching how you carry yourself when no one's clapping. Because if you can be trusted in private, He can trust you in public. Some of the most powerful seasons of your life will be the ones no one else witnesses. The tears you cry behind closed doors. The prayers you whisper when no one's around. The sacrifices you make that no one thanks you for. But those hidden moments are where your anointing grows. That's where God builds depth, character, and endurance. Visibility to God begins when visibility to people ends. Think about it. Diamonds form in the dark. Roots grow underground. Oil is pressed in silence. Every great thing begins in hiddenness. So if you're in a hidden season, don't despise it. Don't rush out of it. Hiddenness is heaven's workshop. God is shaping you, refining you, preparing you for what's next. Because when divine visibility comes, it won't just be about you being seen. It'll be about God being revealed through you. When the time is right, God doesn't just show you off, He shows Himself through you. That's why you can't fight for visibility. You have to wait for it. When man promotes you, you have to keep proving yourself. But when God promotes you, your anointing speaks for itself. You don't need to advertise what God is authenticating. Sometimes you're hidden not because you're not ready, but because they're not ready for you. Your voice carries a frequency that not everyone can handle yet. Your presence carries a weight that not every space can hold. So God shields you, not to deprive you, but to preserve you. You're too valuable to be exposed prematurely. There's a divine timing to visibility. And when God opens that door, it won't be small. When heaven puts its spotlight on you, it's not for a moment, it's for a mission. People will wonder where you came from, realizing you were in God's preparation room all along. And while you're waiting, keep walking with integrity. Keep serving even when they don't see. Keep giving even when they don't thank you. Keep believing even when the silence feels heavy, because God is building something in you that will require depth when the doors finally open. He's not just preparing a stage, He's preparing a vessel that can carry the weight of the glory attached to the calling. Don't confuse being unseen with being unworthy. You're not overlooked. You're overcut. You're overcovered. You're not rejected. You're protected. God's silence doesn't mean absence. It means activity. He's working behind the scenes, aligning people, preparing places, and positioning opportunities that match the magnitude of your calling. You've been frustrated because it feels like everyone else is moving faster, being celebrated, being called up while you're still waiting. But remember, God is not slow. He's strategic. He's building something that will last. You don't want what's fast, you want what's forever. You don't want what's visible for a season, you want what's valuable for a lifetime. When the moment of divine visibility comes, you won't have to fight for attention, it will find you. You won't have to promote yourself. Heaven will do the talking. People will start looking for you, not because you changed, but because the timing did. God will take what was done in private and bring it into public purpose. And when that day comes, remember, visibility is not for vanity, it's for victory. God doesn't raise you so you can be seen. He raises you so He can be glorified. The purpose of divine visibility is to illuminate His power through your story. Every tear, every loss, every delay becomes evidence of His faithfulness. When they finally see you, they'll see God's hand all over your life. You are visible to the one who matters most. You've been seen in the valley, not just on the mountain. You've been seen in your weakness, not just in your wins. And God is saying today, daughter, I saw you when no one else did. I saw you show up when you didn't feel strong enough. I saw you forgive when it hurt. I saw you choose faith when fear screamed louder. I saw you keep moving when you had every reason to quit. And because he saw you there, he's getting ready to show you here. Your hidden season is turning into a visible testimony. The same hands that shaped you in secret are about to position you in significance. Divine visibility is not coming to make you famous. It's coming to make him known. So lift your head, wipe your tears. This season of being unseen was never a punishment. It was preparation. You've been hidden for a purpose. God has been refining your oil so that when he reveals you, your light won't flicker. It will shine steadily. So stay ready, stay pure, stay focused, because the same God who watched you in the shadows is about to reveal you in the spotlight. Not for your glory, but for his. There comes a point in every woman's life when she must decide where her worth truly comes from. Because as long as you seek validation from people, you will always live in disappointment. People will applaud you one moment and forget you the next. They will celebrate you when it's convenient and criticize you when it's not. But when your validation comes from heaven, you no longer depend on the unstable opinions of men. You walk with a quiet confidence that says, God approved me before you even noticed me. Heavenly validation is the kind of assurance that can't be shaken by rejection or reduced by comparison. It is the divine seal that says, you are chosen even when you are not chosen by them. It is the confidence that comes from knowing that your identity is not built on attention. It's built on assignment. You are not who people say you are. You are who God declared you to be before you took your first breath. Many times, God will let people misunderstand you, so you learn to rely only on his approval. He will close certain doors, not because you're unqualified, because he's protecting you from being defined by the wrong audience. Heaven's validation is not loud, but it is lasting. It may not come with a standing ovation, but it comes with divine confirmation. You see, people validate based on what they see. God validates based on what he placed within you. People judge your past. God calls forth your future. People measure your value by performance. God measures it by purpose. That's why he will sometimes strip away every form of human approval so you can finally realize that his yes is greater than their no. When heaven validates you, you stop chasing acceptance and start walking in authority. You stop competing and start creating. You stop seeking permission and start fulfilling your mission. Because you understand, if God said it, no one else has the power to undo it. His stamp is eternal. His call is irrevocable. His word does not return void. Some of you have been questioning your worth because of how people treated you. You've been asking, what's wrong with me? Why don't they see me? Why wasn't I chosen? But maybe, just maybe, you weren't supposed to be accepted there. Maybe God's protection came disguised as rejection. Because if they had validated you, you would have stopped growing. If they had celebrated you too soon, you would have stopped stretching. God kept you hidden because he's reserving you for something that requires divine validation. When God validates you, it doesn't always come with recognition. Sometimes it comes in stillness. Sometimes it comes in peace. Sometimes it comes in the unexplainable strength you feel when you should have fallen apart. That's heaven whispering, you're still mine. You're still chosen. You're still anointed. Heaven's validation carries a different weight. It doesn't fade when seasons change. It doesn't crumble under criticism. It doesn't depend on applause. It's not built on public opinion. Grounded in divine truth. The same God who approved you in private will reveal you in public when the time is right. Think of David, anointed in secret while everyone else overlooked him. His validation didn't come from a crown, it came from the oil. He wasn't chosen because he looked the part. He was chosen because his heart was right. God saw something eternal in someone others deemed ordinary. That's what heavenly validation looks like. It doesn't need human explanation. It doesn't follow earthly systems. It simply declares, this is mine, and I will use her for my glory. When God validates you, he'll make your name echo in places you've never been. He'll let your light shine in rooms you never entered. He'll let your work speak in circles that once ignored you. Because when heaven says approved, no one can say denied. And you must understand something powerful. God's validation often comes through isolation. He will pull you away from certain people, not to punish you, but to protect your identity. He can't have you depending on voices that can't discern your value. He can't have you living for approval from those who only see your potential through their own lens. So he separates you not to make you lonely, but to make you whole. You're being refined in a season where nobody's clapping, nobody's calling, and nobody's posting your name. But that's okay, because the applause of heaven is louder than the noise of man. God is building something inside you that will outlast every trend, every critic, every competitor. Heavenly validation frees you from the addiction of performance. You don't have to impress anyone when you've already been appointed by the Almighty. You don't need to prove your worth when your Creator has already stamped it with His glory. You can stop chasing rooms where you were never meant to fit. You can stop shrinking yourself to make others comfortable, because your validation doesn't come from how they see you. It comes from how God sent you. Talk. Let them doubt. Let them question your calling. While they're talking, God is confirming. While they're analyzing, God is anointing. While they're debating whether you deserve it, heaven has already decided you're the one. You've got to reach a place where you say, even if nobody sees me, God does. Even if nobody supports me, heaven stands behind me. Because when your confidence comes from heaven, no rejection can break you, no criticism can stop you, and no comparison can shake you. Some of you are still waiting for people to clap for what God already crowned. Stop waiting for applause when you carry approval from the Most High. The oil that runs from heaven to your life is the proof of your authenticity. You don't need to explain your calling. You need to walk in it. You don't need to defend your purpose. You need to demonstrate it. You don't need their confirmation, you need God's conviction. And when you walk in that, everything changes. The pressure to perform fades away, the need to compete disappears. The insecurity loses its grip. You become unbothered by who left, shaken by who doubted, and unafraid of who's watching. Because you know your life carries heaven's signature. God didn't validate you for temporary applause. He validated you for eternal impact. That means your voice, your work, your purpose, all of it is meant to echo beyond your generation. You're not here to be seen, you're here to be sent. So stop asking people to see what only heaven can confirm. Stop measuring your worth by worldly success. Stop waiting for validation from broken people who can't even see their own value. God's validation is the only foundation that never crumbles. And when you truly accept that, you'll move differently. You'll speak differently. You'll love differently. You'll serve without resentment. You'll give without fear, because your heart will rest in the truth that heaven has already said, well done. Heavenly validation doesn't come with applause, it comes with assurance. It doesn't need witnesses, it only needs obedience. It doesn't shout, it whispers. It's not flashy, but it's final. So lift your head high, woman of God. You don't need to be seen to be significant. You don't need to be praised to be powerful. You are already validated, not by man, not by systems, but by heaven itself. And when heaven validates you, rejection can erase it, no jealousy can cancel it, and no demon can destroy it. You are who God says you are. You are approved, appointed, and anointed. There's a place between being called and being seen that every chosen woman must walk through. A quiet, hidden, lonely place called obscurity. It's not glamorous, it's not public, it's not applauded. But it's in that hidden place that God does His most holy work. You see, everyone wants to be anointed, but no one wants to be anonymous. Everyone wants to be chosen, but few are willing to be concealed. Yet the truth is this: purpose is not birthed in the spotlight, it is formed in the shadows. God develops His greatest warriors in secret places. He forges strength in silence. He crafts destiny behind closed doors. If you find yourself unseen, unknown, uncelebrated, you're not being punished. You're being prepared. Hides what He values. He covers what He intends to use powerfully. Diamonds don't lie on the surface. They're buried deep, waiting for discovery. And so, are you. Obscurity is not rejection, it's protection. It's the season where God strips away every false identity, every need for human validation, every distraction that could dilute your calling. In the quietness of your hidden season, He's teaching you to rely on His voice alone. He's teaching you to obey when no one's watching. He's teaching you to trust even when nothing makes sense. Some of you have been crying out, God, when will my time come? But if you rush out of your obscurity too soon, you'll step onto platforms your character can't sustain. That's why God slows you down. That's why doors seem delayed. He's not denying you. He's developing you. When God calls you to purpose, He doesn't immediately announce you to the world. He introduces you to the wilderness. Because in the wilderness, He purifies your motives. He kills the pride that could destroy you later. He removes the craving for validation that could corrupt your voice. The wilderness is not where your dream dies. It's where your destiny deepens. In obscurity, God will often silence the noise around you so you can hear what He's saying within you. He's not trying to hide you from opportunity. He's hiding you from premature exposure. Every woman who carries divine oil must first endure divine obscurity. Think about it. Moses spent 40 years on the backside of the desert before God sent him back to Egypt. David was anointed king but returned to shepherding sheep. Esther lived in the background long before she ever stood before the king. Even Jesus Himself spent 30 years in silence before stepping into 3 years of public ministry. If heaven didn't rush their revelation, why should you rush yours? There's purpose in your obscurity. God is teaching you things that can only be learned in silence. He's building discipline where there used to be doubt. He's building focus where there used to be fear. He's teaching you to walk by faith and not by sight, because sight will always show you what's missing, but faith will show you what's coming. And here's the thing about divine obscurity. It doesn't mean inactivity. Just because you're hidden doesn't mean you're not growing. Just because they can't see you doesn't mean you're not producing. Flowers bloom underground before they ever break through the soil. Seeds sprout in darkness long before they see sunlight. Don't mistake the unseen for the unproductive. You are becoming something powerful in this season. This is your preparation ground. God is refining your gifts. He's sharpening your discernment. He's deepening your capacity to carry more. Because what He's preparing you for requires maturity. It requires humility. It requires a level of spiritual strength that can only be forged in isolation. Yes, it hurts to be overlooked. It stings to be misunderstood. It breaks your heart to watch others rise while you're still waiting. Sometimes God lets others go ahead so that when your time comes, you won't be competing for space. You'll be walking in divine order. He's not setting you behind, He's setting you apart. You are not forgotten. Heaven's calendar has your name written on it. Your timing is not delayed, it's divine. God doesn't operate by clocks, He operates by calling. And when the time aligns with your readiness, He will bring you out of hiding in such a way that no one will be able to deny His hand on your life. But hear this, when God reveals you, it's not for vanity, it's for victory. He doesn't elevate you so you can be seen. He elevates you so His glory can be seen through you. That's why He takes His time. He's not building a moment, He's building a movement through you. So, while you're in this season of obscurity, stop despising it. Stop resenting the silence. Stop comparing your process to someone else's presentation. What God is doing in you is unique. The process may be painful, but the purpose will be powerful. You're not losing time. You're gaining depth. You're not falling behind. You're falling into place. Use this season wisely. Cultivate your oil. Strengthen your prayer life. Heal from what hurt you. Learn what God is teaching you. Because when your season shifts, and it will shift, you won't have time to prepare then. You'll have to be ready. And make no mistake, obscurity is temporary. Every hidden season has an expiration date. God won't keep you buried forever. The same God who planted you will make sure you bloom. The same God who covered you will make sure you're revealed. But when He does, you'll be ready, strong, stable, and unshakable. When you finally step into your next season, you'll realize that the obscurity was the greatest blessing you ever received. It taught you to trust without proof. It taught you to pray without audience. It taught you to endure without applause. Stripped away everything superficial and left you with something eternal, an unbreakable relationship with your Creator. There's purpose in your pain, growth in your waiting, and power in your hiddenness. The woman who emerges from obscurity is not the same woman who entered it. She's wiser, stronger, and more grounded. She's not hungry for attention. She's anchored in assignment. She's not chasing opportunity. She's carrying destiny. So don't curse your hidden season. Bless it. Thank God for it. Because this is where you're being built for what's next. The same place you wanted to escape will soon become the place you'll thank God for. You'll look back and say, now I understand why He kept me hidden. I understand why He said, wait. Now I see what He was building inside of me. Your obscurity is not a tomb, it's a womb. You're not being buried. You're being planted. You're not dying, you're developing. You're not invisible. You're invaluable. When the appointed time comes, what's been growing in secret will bloom in the open for the glory of God. So stand firm. Stay faithful. Be still and let God finish what He started. Because when your season of obscurity ends, heaven will make sure the unveiling leaves no doubt. You were chosen for this all along. There is a weight that comes with the oil. Everybody wants the anointing, but not everybody wants the cost. They see the shine, but they don't see the crushing. They admire the fragrance. They don't understand the pressing. The oil that flows from your life didn't come cheap. It came through pain, through loss, through breaking, through tears that nobody else saw. The anointing that rests upon you is not a gift of convenience. It's the evidence of survival. It's proof that you went through what should have destroyed you. And yet you came out refined, not ruined. The oil on your life was born in seasons of warfare, loneliness, and surrender. It is the result of crushing that broke everything in you that was prideful, fearful, and dependent on people instead of God. You don't get oil without crushing. You don't get power without pressure. You don't get anointing without agony. The olive does not release its oil until it is pressed. The more intense the pressure, the purer the oil. That's why God allowed the pain, not to punish you, but to produce something holy inside you. There are some people who see your glow and call it grace. They don't understand that your grace was born out of grief. They want your platform, but not your process. They want your oil, but not your olives. Because to carry what you carry, you had to endure what they never could. You cried nights they never saw. You wrestled battles they never fought. You survived seasons they never understood. The oil is costly because it represents transformation. It's what happens when broken pieces are surrendered into divine hands. Every heartbreak, every betrayal, every rejection, every delay, it all became part of the crushing that produced your anointing. You didn't get here by luck, you got here by endurance. The oil represents resilience. It's the evidence that God can take the worst pain and turn it into purpose. It's proof that He wastes nothing, not the tears, not the trauma, not the disappointment. Every ounce of pressure served a purpose. Every no pushed you closer to the yes that mattered. Every closed door redirected you to the destiny door that was divinely reserved for you. So when you carry the oil, walk with reverence. Don't apologize for your anointing. Don't dim your light to make others comfortable. You paid a price for that oil. You sacrificed your comfort for calling. You lost people you loved. You gave up control. You surrendered your timeline. You trusted God when it didn't make sense. You kept believing when nothing was happening. The cost of the oil is not just what you went through, it's what you let go of. You had to release old versions of yourself, the insecure version, the fearful version, people-pleasing version, to become the woman you were created to be. God couldn't pour fresh oil into a vessel that was still clinging to old wounds. So He had to crush you, not to break you down, but to empty you out to make room for something greater. And that's why your crushing season hurts so deeply. It wasn't random, it was refining. God wasn't trying to destroy you. He was detoxing you from everything that would contaminate your calling. He couldn't let certain relationships continue. He couldn't allow certain opportunities to distract you. He couldn't permit certain environments to define you. because the oil he was preparing to pour on your life required purity. People see your current strength. They don't know the hidden story behind it. They don't know the nights you spent praying for peace. They don't know the mornings you got up when your heart was still heavy. They don't know the battles you fought just to show up. But God knows. He saw every tear, heard every prayer, and caught every sigh. And in his divine wisdom, he took those moments and turned them into the flow that now rests upon you. The oil cost you isolation, because when God anoints you, he often separates you. Not everyone can handle your process. Some people can't go where you're going. They love the old version of you, but that version can't carry this oil. And though it hurt to let them go, heaven was protecting your destiny. You paid the price in silence. You worshiped through your wounds. You believed through your heartbreak. You kept serving when no one was thanking you. That's why the oil on your life flows differently. It's not shallow. It's sacred. It doesn't entertain. It transforms. When the oil costs you something, you carry it differently. You don't play with it. You don't flaunt it. You guard it because you understand that oil is not decoration. It's evidence of consecration. You are walking proof of what happens when a woman refuses to quit in the crushing. There's power in your pain because it birthed your purpose. There's victory in your scars because they tell the story of survival. There's glory in your tears because they watered the ground of your breakthrough. Every crushing moment taught you something divine. You learned to depend on God in a way you never had before. You learned that strength isn't loud, it's steady. You learned that peace doesn't mean ease, it means trust. The cost of the oil was your yes when everything in you wanted to say no. It was your surrender when you didn't understand. It was your faith when you had no evidence. It was your perseverance when others gave up. And now that oil flows not just for you, but for others. Because the oil you carry isn't personal, it's generational. It's meant to heal, to restore, to empower those who come after you. That's why the crushing had to happen. God wasn't just preparing you for a platform, he was preparing you to pour. He was equipping you to be a vessel of healing for others. Your story, your survival, your scars, they all release oil when you speak. People don't just hear your words, they feel your weight. Because the anointing is not talent, it's transformation. So don't despise the price you paid. Every tear was currency in the kingdom. Every season of silence was investment in your strength. Every breaking was a blessing in disguise. Oil cost you something, but what it produced in you is priceless. And now you can stand with your head high, not in pride, but in gratitude, because you know what it took to get here. You know the hell you went through. You know the fire you survived. And through it all, God never left you. He was there pressing, molding, shaping until what came out of you reflected his glory. So the next time someone admires your glow, tell them, this oil is expensive. It cost me tears, time, and trust. It cost me everything that wasn't aligned with my destiny, but it was worth it. Because now I carry something that can't be bought, borrowed, or broken. The oil you carry is proof that God makes beauty from ashes, strength from sorrow, power from pain. The crushing was necessary. The process was holy. The cost was heavy. But the outcome, the outcome is glorious. There comes a time in your journey when God shifts you from the familiar to the divine unfamiliar. When you sense something stirring inside your spirit, something bigger than where you are, something greater than what you've seen. That's not just a feeling. That's heaven preparing you for spiritual promotion. Promotion in the kingdom doesn't happen through applause or recognition. It happens through pressure, obedience, and endurance. Before God elevates you publicly, he refines you privately. Before he releases the blessing, he tests the foundation. He doesn't promote based on position. He promotes based on preparation. And sometimes that preparation looks like pain. You thought you were being buried. You were being planted. You thought you were being overlooked, but heaven was observing you. You thought you were being delayed, but God was developing something within you. Every tear, every trial, every lonely night was building the spiritual muscle required for what's coming next. Spiritual promotion is not about climbing ladders. It's about deepening roots. God doesn't elevate you to make you visible. He elevates you to make you useful. He promotes those who have proven they can carry the weight of his glory without breaking under it. You can't ask for the oil without being ready for the crushing, and you can't ask for promotion without being ready for pruning. Before every spiritual promotion, there's always a test of trust. Can you remain faithful when you feel forgotten? Can you stay obedient when you don't understand? Can you keep serving when nobody is watching? Those who pass heaven's tests are not the most gifted. They are the most surrendered. Promotion doesn't come through performance. It comes through process. Doesn't promote potential. He promotes proven faithfulness while others chase platforms. He's looking for hearts that still bow in private. While others seek recognition, he's searching for worshipers who can handle rejection and still lift their hands. When God promotes you, it's not just about where he's taking you. It's about who you've become along the way. You can't carry divine authority without divine maturity. The process had to purify you because the next level requires a different version of you. The tests weren't punishment, they were preparation. You were being trained to operate with discipline, grace, and discernment. Every delay was divine timing. Every closed door was divine direction. Not yet was heaven saying, I'm still working on you. You didn't miss your promotion. It's been in motion all along. It just didn't look like what you expected. You see, spiritual promotion doesn't always come wrapped in comfort. Sometimes it comes disguised as loss. Sometimes God promotes you by removing you. He shifts you out of circles that can't handle your calling. He separates you from people who can't discern your growth. It's painful, yes, but it's purposeful. Because if he let everyone come with you, drain what he's trying to deposit in you, promotion requires purification. You can't carry offense into your next level. You can't bring bitterness into your breakthrough. You can't hold grudges and hold glory at the same time. So God strips away what's toxic, not to hurt you, but to heal you. He can't promote what's still poisoned. You had to be tested in secret before you could be trusted in public. God was watching how you handled the small assignments. Did you stay consistent when no one was clapping? Did you pray even when you were weary? Did you love people who mistreated you? Did you remain faithful when the favor seemed far away? Those moments were the proving ground for your promotion. Heaven promotes the faithful, not the famous. God exalts those who keep their heart pure in the waiting. He's not looking for perfection. He's looking for perseverance. When you didn't quit, you qualified. When you chose peace over revenge, you qualified. You trusted his timing instead of forcing your own, you qualified. And now, heaven is shifting your position. The same place that overlooked you will recognize you. The same people who doubted you will witness the elevation. Because when God promotes you, no one can block it, delay it, or take credit for it. Promotion in the kingdom is not earned by human approval. It's granted by divine appointment. You don't have to chase platforms when you walk in purpose. You don't have to compete when you're chosen. You don't have to manipulate doors when God has already assigned one with your name on it. The promotion coming your way won't require performance. It will require presence. Stay aligned, stay anointed, stay available. Every promotion comes new pressure. New levels bring new devils. But you've been trained for this. The very things that once broke you have now built you. The rejection that once hurt you now strengthens your discernment. The waiting that once frustrated you now anchors your patience. You're stronger than before because you've been through the process. The promotion God is preparing is not just for your comfort. It's for his kingdom. He's promoting you so that you can impact lives, break chains, and usher healing where there has been pain. This next season is not about status. It's about service. It's about walking in authority, not arrogance. It's about using your testimony as a torch for others still walking in the dark. Spiritual promotion always demands humility. Don't forget the pit when you reach the palace. Don't lose your posture of gratitude. The same God who lifted you can sustain you, but only if you remain surrendered. The crown means nothing if the character can't hold it. You've been through the fire, not to burn, but to refine. You've walked through storms, not to drown, but to learn how to walk on waves. You've endured rejection, not because you were unworthy, but because you were being redirected to something greater. Every season has shaped you for this very moment. You are being promoted not just because you survived, but because you stayed submitted. You are being promoted not just because you endured the pain, but because you kept your praise. You are being promoted not just because you waited, because you worship while waiting. Heaven saw your consistency, your integrity, your quiet obedience, and now heaven is ready to reward it. You didn't just go through the process, you grew through it. And that's what promotion looks like. Elevation through transformation. God didn't change your surroundings until He changed your spirit. He didn't elevate your position until He established your posture. You're not the same person who entered the test. You've come out refined, wiser, and ready for the weight of the calling. So don't be surprised when new doors open, when fresh favor finds you, when opportunities appear that don't make sense. That's what happens when God promotes. Won't be your RA Summe that qualifies you. It'll be your relationship with Him. It won't be your network that lifts you. It'll be His hand. This promotion is divine. It's not about titles or recognition. It's about impact. It's about responsibility. It's about heaven trusting you with more because you've been faithful with less. You are stepping into a new dimension of grace. You are walking into the fulfillment of prayers you forgot you prayed. You are about to see why the waiting was worth it. Heaven is saying, you've passed the test. You're ready for the next. So lift your head, woman of God. This is your time. The same God who crushed you is now crowning you. The same hands that pressed you are now promoting you. There comes a point in every life where the breaking feels unbearable. When everything you thought was stable begins to shatter, when what you built with faith begins to fall apart, and when the strength you once had feels too small for the storm you're standing in. What you didn't realize then is that your breaking was not the end. It was the beginning of your breakthrough. God never wastes a breaking. When He allows something in your life to break, it's not to destroy you, but to deliver you from what can't go with you into the next dimension. Breaking is not a sign that God abandoned you. It's a sign that He's preparing to birth something greater through you. Every breakthrough is preceded by a breaking. You cannot carry a new level of glory in an old wineskin. You cannot walk in new authority with an old mindset. So God, in His divine love, allows the breaking, not as punishment, but as transformation. He breaks what's brittle so He can rebuild it unbreakable. There are some seasons where it feels like everything is crumbling. Your confidence, your relationships, your plans. You pray and don't feel Him. You try and see no results. You believe, but the silence stretches too long. That's when your faith is being refined. That's when God is teaching you that your foundation must be Him alone. Not people, not outcomes, not timelines. When God allows you to be broken, it's because He's removing what was blocking the breakthrough. Sometimes it's pride. Sometimes it's fear. Sometimes it's control. You prayed for growth. He answered by breaking the shell that was limiting you. You prayed for strength. And He answered by allowing situations that required you to stand when you wanted to crumble. The breaking hurts, yes, but it's holy. The pain you feel is not a tomb, it's a womb. Something divine is forming inside that pressure. You're not dying, you're developing. It's stretching your capacity, increasing your endurance, and purifying your purpose. The breaking is a sacred space where you learn what faith really means. It's easy to praise when doors open. It's easy to believe when blessings flow. But can you still worship when your heart is shattered? Still trust when nothing makes sense? That's the kind of faith that births breakthrough. Every tear that fell was watering the soil for your next season. Every disappointment was making room for divine appointment. Every loss was creating the space for a greater gain. You had to be broken to be rebuilt correctly. You had to be emptied to be filled with what's eternal. You had to let go of what was temporary to receive what's transformational. The breakthrough after the breaking is not about getting back what you lost. It's about discovering who you are after the loss. It's about realizing that even with cracks, you're still chosen. Even with scars, you're still significant. Even in your brokenness, still calls you blessed. The woman who emerges after the breaking is not the same one who entered it. She carries wisdom born from pain, peace born from surrender, and power born from survival. She doesn't walk in pride anymore. She walks in purpose. She doesn't chase validation anymore. She carries revelation. She's not defined by what broke her. She's refined by what she became through it. God breaks you. He's not subtracting. He's multiplying. What looked like loss was actually liberation. What seemed like rejection was divine redirection. The people who left couldn't go where you're going. The doors that closed were never meant to open. The season that ended was necessary to make room for something new. Don't despise the breaking, because that's where you found your voice. That's where you learned how to pray. That's where you discovered that peace isn't found in control. It's found in surrender. That's where your spirit was stretched enough to hold the anointing that's coming next. You didn't break because you were weak. You broke because you were being reborn. Like a seed that cracks open to release life, you had to split so what was buried in you could rise. The same breaking that humbled you is the breaking that's about to elevate you. Your breakthrough is not coming. It's already forming. You may not see it yet, but the shift has already begun. Heaven has been working behind the scenes, aligning every detail, healing every wound, preparing every door. What you lost in the breaking cannot compare to what you're about to gain in the breakthrough. You see, the enemy thought the breaking would silence you, but it birthed your voice. He thought it would weaken your faith, but it deepened your dependence. He thought it would stop your purpose, but it sharpened your focus. Every attack only confirmed that you were carrying something powerful. Every delay only made your destiny more defined. When the breakthrough comes, you'll understand the purpose of the pain. You'll look back and say, now I see why I had to go through that. You'll realize that if it hadn't broken you, it wouldn't have built you. If it hadn't stretched you, it wouldn't have strengthened you. If it hadn't hurt you, it wouldn't have healed you. God doesn't break you to leave you in pieces. He breaks you to make you whole again, stronger, wiser, deeper, and more anchored in Him. The breaking made you dangerous to the darkness. It taught you how to worship through wounds. It taught you how to fight on your knees. It taught you that the greatest victories are birthed in the most painful battles. When your breakthrough comes, and it won't just bless you, it will bless everyone connected to you. Because God didn't bring you through the breaking just for yourself. He brought you through so you could carry the oil that heals others. Your scars are now a map for someone else's deliverance. Your survival story will become someone else's faith story. And here's the truth, sometimes a breakthrough is not in what changes around you, in what changes within you. The peace that now anchors you, the clarity that now guides you, the faith that now fuels you. That's your breakthrough. You may not have everything you wanted, but you have become everything God intended. You were broken, but not beyond repair. You were crushed, but not consumed. You were stretched, but not destroyed. And now heaven declares, your breaking has ended. Your breakthrough has begun. You will rise from the ashes of what fell apart. You will see beauty in the very place that once brought you pain. You will walk with a new confidence, a deeper wisdom, and a fire that cannot be extinguished, because the breaking was not your ending. It was your awakening. So lift your head, wipe your tears, straighten your crown. You survived what was sent to shatter you. And now you're about to step into what was promised to you. The doors that once denied you will open for you. The tables that once excluded you will need your presence. Purpose that once seemed distant will unfold before your eyes. There comes a time in your life when heaven decides it's time for you to be seen. Not by man, but by divine appointment. For so long, you've walked in the shadows, hidden, overlooked, misunderstood. You've served quietly, prayed faithfully, waited patiently. And heaven watched, took notes, heaven remembered, and now heaven whispers, it's time for the unveiling. Heavenly unveiling is not about spotlight, it's about purpose. It's the moment when God reveals publicly what he has been shaping privately. It's when the seasons of silence finally make sense. It's when the pain that tried to break you becomes the very proof of your anointing. It's when what was once hidden in obscurity steps forth carrying heaven's authority. For years, you wondered why God kept you hidden. You saw others being elevated, promoted, celebrated, and yet you remained behind the curtain, doing what he told you, trusting his timing, staying faithful even when you felt forgotten. But what you didn't realize was that heaven hides what it intends to honor. God conceals greatness until it's mature enough to carry the weight of revelation. You see, premature exposure can destroy what's divine. If he had unveiled you too soon, the world would have mishandled you. If he had revealed you before refinement, your gift would have outgrown your character. So he hid you, not because you were unworthy, but because you were in development. Hiddenness was your protection, not your punishment. Heavenly unveiling comes only after holy preparation. You had to go through seasons of breaking, pruning, and waiting so that when the moment came, your spirit would be ready. The unveiling doesn't happen when you think you're ready. It happens when heaven knows you're ready. While others were busy being seen, you were busy being shaped. While others were chasing platforms, you were chasing presence. While others were seeking applause, you were learning alignment. And now heaven says, you've passed the test. You're ready to be revealed. This unveiling is not about fame. It's about fulfillment. God is pulling back the veil to reveal the purpose he planted in you long before the pain. You've been anointed for impact. You've been assigned for such a time as this. And now the world will see what heaven already declared over you. When God unveils you, he doesn't just change your position, he reveals your power. The same people who saw your struggle will now witness your strength. Same environment that once confined you will now confirm you. The same voice that was once silenced will now speak with divine authority. Heavenly unveiling is about manifestation, the visible evidence of invisible preparation. The prayers you prayed in tears will now bear fruit in testimony. The nights you wrestled in silence will now produce with wisdom that liberates others. You thought you were just surviving, but heaven was staging your arrival. When heaven unveils you, no one can block it, no opinion can stop it. No opposition can reverse it, because this unveiling is not man-made, it's God-ordained. And when God opens the curtain, no one can close it again. For too long, you've lived in seasons where you had vision but no visibility, where you carried something powerful but couldn't find where it fit. But now, the alignment of heaven is shifting in your favor. The doors that refuse to open will swing wide. The connections you need will appear effortlessly. The opportunities that once seemed unreachable will find you, because when heaven unveils you, it brings divine order with divine timing. This unveiling comes with responsibility. It's not a stage for performance. It's a platform for purpose. It's not about proving who you are. It's about revealing who he is through you. God didn't prepare you for applause. He prepared you for assignment. That's why your process was so private. He had to strip you of ego so that when you stepped into your moment, only his glory would shine. Heaven unveils you. Your story becomes a sermon. Your wounds become wisdom. Your scars become strategies for others to heal. The very things that embarrassed you will become the evidence of God's faithfulness. What once made you cry will now make others believe. You are stepping into a divine unveiling where the unseen hand of God becomes undeniable in your life. People will look at you and say, "How did she get there?" But what they won't know is how long you've been hidden, how much you've endured, how many nights you cried, how many times you almost quit. They'll see the unveiling, but they'll never fully grasp the price of the preparation. You are not the same person who entered the season of hiding. You've been transformed. You've learned to discern voices. You've learned to depend on grace. You've learned to walk by faith, not by sight. Heaven has been molding you, shaping you, and refining you until your reflection aligned with your assignment. The same God who concealed you is revealing you. The same God who tested you is about to trust you. You are about to stand in places you once prayed about. You are about to walk through doors you once dreamed of. You are about to see favor that feels like a flood. But remember, Unveiling is not for validation. You don't need to prove you're chosen. You don't need to explain your calling. Those who couldn't see it before will have to see it now, not because you said it, but because heaven confirmed it. When God unveils, proof follows presence. Your unveiling won't come with noise. It will come with evidence. People will notice that the glory around you is different. The way you carry yourself will shift. The peace you possess will speak louder than your words. Oil you carry will flow effortlessly because it's been refined through obedience. This unveiling is sacred. It's heaven's way of saying, can trust you with visibility now because you stayed faithful in obscurity. You proved that you could serve without recognition, give without applause, love without reward, and still remain steadfast. That's the heart heaven unveils, one that's humble, holy, and healed. Get ready, because your unveiling won't just bless you. It will awaken others. Your breakthrough will break chains for those who are still bound. Your testimony will remind someone else that hidden seasons are not wasted. You are becoming a living manifestation of God's promise that those who wait upon Him will never be put to shame. Every veil that once covered your calling is being lifted. Every limitation that once restrained your progress is being removed. Every lie that once defined you is being silenced. The heavens are declaring over you, this is the time of unveiling. You are stepping into visibility not for validation, but for victory. You are being revealed not for attention, but for assignment. The world is about to witness what heaven has been nurturing in secret. So stand tall, woman of God. You've waited long enough. The process was worth it. The pain was necessary. The hiddenness was holy. And now heaven is pulling back the curtain. This is your season of heavenly unveiling. What was concealed is being revealed. What was delayed is being delivered. What was hidden is being honored. There is a power resting on your life that cannot be contained, controlled, or canceled. It is not man-made, and it is not man-given. It is the anointing of God. And when God anoints you, you become unstoppable. You may be delayed, but not denied. You may be opposed, not overpowered. Because what rests upon you is not ordinary. It is heaven's oil, and it carries divine authority. This anointing did not appear overnight. It was forged in fire. It was developed in difficulty. It was strengthened in seasons when you felt forgotten. The oil that flows through your life today was produced through crushing every heartbreak, every disappointment, every betrayal. It was pressing the olive until the anointing emerged. The unstoppable anointing comes when you finally realize that what was meant to break you actually built you. That the battles you faced were not barriers, they were birthing rooms. You had to face opposition so that what was placed in you could rise to the surface. Every attack was proof that you were carrying something powerful. The enemy never fights what doesn't threaten him. The fact that you face so much warfare is evidence that you are dangerous to darkness. You've been through too much not to carry oil. You've cried too many tears not to carry glory. You've survived too many storms not to walk in power. The anointing on your life is unstoppable because it's been tested, tried, and proven. You didn't quit when it hurt. You didn't give up when it got hard. You kept praying when the answers were silent. That's what built your oil. There is something about an anointed person that cannot be explained, only experienced. When they walk into a room, the atmosphere shifts. When they speak, hearts are stirred. When they pray, things break open. Because the anointing is not talent, it's transformation. It's the evidence that God's presence dwells within you and works through you. The unstoppable anointing means that no weapon formed against you will prosper. Not because you're strong, because the oil on your life makes you untouchable. The enemy can try to frustrate you, delay you, or discourage you. He cannot destroy what heaven has sealed. When God marks you, there is no force on earth or in hell that can erase that mark. And yet, this anointing doesn't come without a price. The oil costs obedience. It costs surrender. It costs isolation. There were seasons where you were misunderstood. People walked away when your name was misused, and you had to stand in silence. That's where the oil deepened. God was teaching you to depend on Him alone. He stripped away every crutch, every false comfort, every dependency, until your faith stood firm on His word alone. You learned that the anointing is not about popularity. It's about purity. God doesn't anoint perfection. He anoints the surrendered. He looks for hearts that are willing to say, yes, even when I don't understand. He looks for vessels that can handle both the weight and the warfare. The oil is not for the faint-hearted, it's for the faithful. The unstoppable anointing means that even in your weakness, the power of God flows strong. You've discovered that His strength is made perfect in your surrender. You've learned that victory is not the absence of battle, it's the assurance of divine backing. You don't need to chase opportunities because your anointing attracts alignment. You don't need to prove yourself because the oil proves itself. There is a reason the enemy tried so hard to silence you, because he knew that once you discovered the oil on your life, you would be unstoppable. He tried to distract you with pain, deceive you with doubt, and bury you under pressure. But what he didn't know is that pressure only produces more oil. Every time you were pressed, heaven poured. Every time you were broken, God filled the cracks with His glory. Every time you were rejected, He was redirecting you to greater purpose. You are anointed to overcome. You are anointed to stand when others fall. You are anointed to rise from ruins and carry revival in your spirit. The anointing on your life doesn't just protect you, it propels you. It moves you into rooms you didn't apply for, positions you for blessings you didn't chase, and connects you to opportunities that no R.A. Some could earn. When the anointing flows, mountains move, chains break, hearts heal, because the oil doesn't just touch your life. It touches everything connected to you. Your family will feel it. Your workplace will sense it. Your environment will shift under it. Because once God decides to anoint a person, the transformation ripples beyond them. The unstoppable anointing is not loud, it's steady. It doesn't seek validation, it carries confirmation. You no longer need to convince anyone who you are. Your oil speaks louder than words. You don't have to defend yourself, the anointing defends you. You don't have to chase recognition, favor recognizes you. You've reached the season where the same people who doubted you will witness your rise. The same situations that once oppressed you will now bow to the authority you carry. The same places that tried to bury you will become the platform where your purpose blossoms. Because when the anointing flows, elevation is inevitable. But remember this, unstoppable doesn't mean untouchable by pain. You'll still face trials. You'll still encounter resistance. But nothing will stop you, because what's in you is greater than what's against you. The oil empowers you to walk through fire and not be consumed, to go through waters and not drown, to face battles and still emerge with victory. Your anointing is your armor. It shields you when words wound. It strengthens you when fatigue sets in, guides you when confusion surrounds you. The oil carries discernment, grace, and endurance. It gives you eyes to see beyond the surface, ears to hear what heaven is saying, and faith to move when the world tells you to sit still. You are not ordinary. You are marked. You carry the evidence of divine selection. You are heaven's answer to earthly problems. Your presence carries purpose. That's why you can't give up. That's why quitting never works, because your spirit won't let you. The oil inside you won't allow defeat to define you. You are too anointed to stay broken, too favored to stay hidden, too called to stay silent. The unstoppable anointing on your life will continue to make ways out of no way, open doors that logic can't explain, and silence voices that try to limit you. You are not here by accident. You are here on assignment. The oil didn't come to decorate you. It came to activate you. So stand tall, woman of God. You've been refined, not ruined. You've been prepared, not punished. You've been anointed for such a time as this. No delay can deny you. No enemy can end you. No storm can shake you. The hand of God is upon your life, and His purpose in you is unstoppable. Walk boldly in your calling. Move confidently in your authority. Speak with power, act with faith, live with conviction, because you are covered in an unstoppable anointing.